So if you'd like to have a block or a couple blocks nearby, maybe a pillow or a blanket for when we get down to the mat, feel free to grab those and then eventually find a seat, your feet planted, your hands can rest on your lap. You might give your shoulders a roll, your neck a stretch. And if you're comfortable closing your eyes, go there. We'll take a few moments here to arrive physically and mentally. And as you make your way into your practice, just acknowledge that it took some effort to make the time and the space to practice. It wasn't all your effort. Some other things had to align too. Zoom had to work. Electricity, maybe other people needed to take care of things so that you could be here. And maybe take a moment just to appreciate all that. And then maybe set the intention to take advantage of this time that you set aside for your practice, for yourself. And as best you can, make it nice for yourself. And so as always, I suggest, I give some guidance, but I'll always support you in making choices. In saying no to things, saying yes to others, adapting, tweaking things, exploring with curiosity, and again, being nice to ourselves. And so bring your attention to your breathing and notice that there are inhales and exhales, air arriving in, air leaving. And there is movement associated with that breath. And there might be sound too. And just allow your attention to rest there for a few cycles. And if you'd like, begin to explore breathing a bit more through your nose, maybe lengthening that breath. And as you continue with your breath, bring some softness around your eyes. So even if your eyelids are closed, try not to press too much against your eyeballs. So you might even think about lifting slightly your eyebrows and maybe spreading them, a little bit more space in between the left and the right eyebrow, a bit more space in the forehead. And then some softness around your jaw. Maybe relaxing the tongue away from the top of the mouth. And if you haven't already, begin to even out inhales and exhales, making them a similar length. And finding a rhythm of breath that is both nourishing and sustainable. And then turn your palms to face up towards the ceiling, eyes closed maybe, or you could also open them, but no need to look at your hands. And then bring the pinky and the thumb to touch. And just feel that contact, texture, maybe temperature, any other sensation. And then open up the hands, wiggle your fingers. And then bring the ring finger and the thumb to touch. And again, get curious about that contact. And then again, open up the hands, give the fingers a wiggle, maybe a little stretch. And then bring the middle finger and thumb to touch. Just take a moment there. And then again, open up the hands, maybe an extra stretch between the fingers, the palm of your hand. And then bring the index and thumb to touch. And you notice any sensations that come up. And then once again, open up the hands, give the fingers a wiggle. And then we'll make a fist, bringing the fingers into the palm first, wrapping your thumbs over. Make it as tight or loose as you'd like. Just notice again any sensations. And then again, open up the hands, spread those fingers. And last one, thumb into the palm first, and then your fingers wrap over the thumbs. As tight or as loose as you'd like. Try to keep your shoulders down, your chest still broad. And then open up the hand again, a wiggle through the fingers, and then turn your palms to face down. We'll open the eyes if they're still closed, and then bring your shoulders up by your ears. And soften them down. And do that again, bring them up. And soften. One more like that, bringing them up. And softening down. And then bring your arms out into a T. Turn your palms to face up towards the ceiling. And then turn your palms to face down and back. And then again, turn them all the way up, rotating the arm. And then all the way down and back. And then another one all the way up. And then down and back. And then this time we're going to come back to palms facing up towards the ceiling. And then you're going to drop the fingers towards the floor. So your palms are facing out. It's quite a stretch for the inner part of the wrist. And then we're going to take the fingers to point up towards the ceiling. So now the palms are facing in. So here sometimes the default is to do just fingers. See if you can get that wrist to do this flexion. Okay, so palms in. And then again, take your palms to face out, fingers down. And take your palms to face in, fingers up. One more time, taking them out. And bringing them in. Nice job. And then make a fist. Rotate your wrists a few times in one direction. You can do this with the arms still out into a T, or you could do arms down. Rotate in the other direction. And then with your next inhale, bring the hands back to your thighs. Lift the heels of the feet. Coming onto balls of the feet, maybe toes. And then lower the heels. And try that again. Lift and lower and lift and lower. And now on your inhale, lift. And now only lower your left heel. Inhale, lift, and only lower the right. And inhale, lift and left. Inhale, lift and right. On your inhale, lift. Now lower your left heel, stay on your right toes, and begin to rotate through your right hip. So I really like giving the toes here a stretch against the floor. So see how that works for you. It also gives a stretch through the top of the foot, the front of your ankle. And then rotate in the other direction. And then bring that knee through center and extend the leg all the way out in front of you. You might scoot forward on the seat of your chair. And then once you are here, point and flex through your foot. So toes away from you and then toes towards you. And then again, point and draw towards. And another one, point and towards. Now keep the toes drawing towards you, and let's find a little rotation. So you might move your leg a little bit out to the side. That might be a bit more comfortable. And then just take your toes out to the right, any amount. It might not be very much. And then back in. Okay, so as if you were kind of doing a windshield wipers, or kind of like a clock going out to the right and back in. And then if you bring your right hand to your right hip crease, see if you can feel that the femur bone is rotating there too. So as your toes go right, left, your knee is also going right, left in alignment with your toes, and that movement is coming from your hip. And then you might bring that foot back through center, your toes still pointing up towards the ceiling, both hands to hip creases. Let's take a full breath in. Let's push the hips down as we lengthen the spine. And then on your exhale, hinge forward and down any amount. Pause for a breath. And another one. And then as you inhale, lift that torso, extend your arms overhead. And on your exhale, let's twist towards the left side. Left hand behind us and right hand crossing over. Any amount here, a bit of exploration. So about 3 breaths. You might move the head, looking from side to side. You might pull and push a bit with your hands, depending on how things are feeling. We'll make sure that you're breathing intentionally, fully. One more breath here. And then as you're ready, return the torso through center. You could reach your arms tall. Usually after a rotation, it's nice to stretch up. So if that works for you, this might work. And then on your exhale, release your arms down and let's bring that right foot back in. Both feet well planted once again, and heels up and heels down. And again, heels up and down. And one more time, heels up and down. And now heels up, and this time only lower your right heel. And then lift, only lower your left, and lift. And again, right, up, left, and up. And now right down, and we're staying on the left toes. And we're going to find that rotation through this left side. So again, if it works for you, it's a nice opportunity to give those toes a stretch against the floor, the top of the foot. And then switch direction. And then the next time that the knee comes through center, we're extending the leg in front of us, and we're pointing and flexing through that left foot. Toes point away and toes draw towards. And a few times like that at your own pace. And then the next time that your toes are pointing up towards the ceiling, we'll find that kind of wiping action motion. So you might move your left leg a little bit left and then toes out and then in. So left to right. There. And again, if your left hand is at your hips, just feel that there is some rotation, some movement coming all the way from there. And you can visualize the head of the femur bone rotating in the hip socket, going left and right. So it's external and internal rotation. And then we'll meet with the toes facing up once again. Again, you might bring that leg right in front of the hip, both hands to hips. Take a full breath in, lengthen your spine. And on your exhale, find that hinge forward flexion through the hips. You're going forward and down. Pause here. Think about neutral spine, so don't worry about how far down you go. Just make sure that there's some amount of flexion happening at the hips, that you're not just flexing through your neck and kind of thinking that that's done there. Another breath in and out. Nice job. As you inhale, we're coming back up. You can reach your arms tall if you'd like, lengthen. And then as you exhale, let's twist to the right side. So right hand comes behind, left hand crosses over. And you're turning your torso towards the right. And again, here we'll stay for a few breaths. So you could do some movement with the neck, looking over one shoulder, the other. You could find a little bit of extra help with your twist, so using your hands to get yourself a little bit further if that feels good. And then make sure that the breath is still happening, smooth but intentional. One more here. And then use your next inhale to return the torso through center. If it feels good, find that lift of your arms, find that stretch through the side body. And then exhale, releasing your arms down, bending your left knee and planting your left foot. Let's take those feet wide, heel to toe your feet out. And let's bring the feet back in. And let's do that again, taking them out and bringing them back. And then one more time, take them out and bring them back. And then from here, bring your right knee in towards your chest, give it a squeeze. And then see if you can use the squeeze or the bringing of the leg in to find a bit more lift through your spine. So feel the crown of the head grow a little taller. And then let's cross that right thigh all the way over the left. And then for a moment here, we're going to try, a lot of times when we do, so for eagle pose, we squeeze the legs towards one another and this right foot towards the left leg. Now we're going to try the opposite. So we're going to kind of walk the feet away from one another. Okay, so that left foot goes a bit more right and that right foot goes a bit more left. Okay, so you'll notice that there's some rotation through your hips to do that. Okay, your hips are going to be kind of rotating out your thigh bone. So see if you can feel that any amount. Just notice. And then bring your feet back in. And then let's go for our regular eagle where that right foot squeezes towards the left leg. Open your arms out into a T. Take a full breath in. And then on your exhale, your right arm under your left and you find a hug. Make it tight, make it loose, and then play with the positioning of your elbows. See how it feels to lift your elbows up without arching your spine. So just lift them up, and then feel your elbows lower. See how that feels when your elbows come down towards your ribs. And then you could do that movement a couple more times, keeping your spine neutral. Lift your elbows any amount, and then lower your elbows. And one more like that, lift and lower. And notice that this is different from when we do cows and cats, right? So other times, and we'll just do one, we'll do a cow pose with the spine, lifting elbows, but now arching the spine, lifting chest, maybe even looking up. And then we'll do like a cat spine. We round, elbows draw down and in, but we also round the spine, chin towards the chest. And then come back through center, open your arms out, and on your exhale, release your arms and unwind your legs, both feet planted. Heel to toe your feet out, and then heel to toe your feet back in. And do that again, taking them out and bringing them back. And we'll do one more like that. Take them out and bring them back. This time it's the left knee that comes in towards the chest. Give it a squeeze and see if you can use that drawing in of the knee to grow a little taller, find that space. And then when you're ready, cross that left thigh over the right. And again, we're going to try that, taking those feet away from one another. So now your bottom foot, the one that's on the floor, is going to go towards the left. And your right foot is going to kind of go up and to, no, your left foot, sorry, is going to go up and to the right. So see if you can feel that there is this external rotation happening through your thighs. And take a breath. It's kind of like a bit like a figure four, but with the thighs close together. And then when you're ready, bring the feet back in towards one another. Right foot planted, left foot drawing towards the right leg. And then let's open up those arms. Take a breath in. And on your exhale, your left arm under your right as you give yourself that hug. And then same as you did before, play with the positioning of your elbows and try not to change your spine. So it's just elbows lifting. So it's just movement through your shoulders and then elbows lowering. And then try that again. Lift and lower. And another one, lift and lower. And now the same thing, but now we're letting the spine arch. So as we inhale, it's more of a cow spine. You'll find more lift through the elbows. And then on your exhale, it's a cat spine. You're rounding, flexing, elbows into the lap, chin towards your chest. As you inhale, come back to neutral. You could release those arms. You could reach them up if that feels good. And then arms down, unwind your legs and both feet plant. Inhale, bring the shoulders up by your ears. And on your exhale, only lower your right shoulder. Inhale, lift. And now only lower your left. Inhale, lift. One more of each, right. And lift. And lower left. On your inhale, both shoulders will lift. And as you exhale, release them down. Heel to toe your feet out. And then from here, again, edge of the seat probably best. We're going to extend through the right leg. So come onto the heel and extend that right leg, toes pointing up, and then draw it back in. And then do the same with the left. Onto the heel, extend, and then bring it back in. Okay, now see if you can add some resistance. So when you're bringing the leg in, see if you can kind of push down and bring in. So that resistance of pushing down is going to engage a bit more through the leg, making it a bit more effortful. So when you're ready, come onto the right heel, extend, and then push down as you bring that foot back in. See if you can feel that. And then again, left side onto the heel, extend. And then push the heel down as you bring that leg in. Okay? And we'll do one more of each. Extend right leg. Push down. And then keep pushing as you bring that leg in. And then left. Extend. Push down. Keep pushing down as you bend and bring it back in. Nice job. Hands on your thighs, thumbs inside, fingers outside. Take a full breath and lengthen. And then on your exhale, right shoulder forward and down and turn towards your left leg. Push your right thigh away. Feel a stretch through inner thigh. Stretch through right side waist. Maybe loosen up through the neck. And take another breath. And then return your torso through center and we'll switch. Push the left thigh away, left shoulder forward and down. Turn towards your right thigh. Find that inner thigh stretch, that twist through the spine, and some softness through your face. One more breath. As you inhale, returning through center, we're going to sweep those arms wide and up. On your exhale, bend your elbows and look for more or less 90-degree angles with your arms. We're going to take those elbows back on the inhale, broaden chest. And then we're going to bring the elbows forward on the exhale towards one another, but avoid your forearms or your hands coming to touch. So prioritize elbows coming to touch first. And it doesn't matter if they don't touch. Yeah. Inhale again, open up. Exhale, elbow to elbow. Another one, inhale, open. Use your exhale, push the air out as you push elbow to elbow. And then on your inhale, extend your arms overhead. And as you exhale, right hand to right thigh, you could do hand or forearm, side bend. And come back through center, breathing in. And then to the left forearm or left hand to thigh, and side bend. One more of each, back through center. To the right, maybe this time your right arm goes to the inside of the right leg. And then back through center. And then left side, maybe inside of the leg. And then on your inhale, back through center, interlace your fingers overhead, palms towards the ceiling, give yourself a stretch. And then on your exhale, bend your elbows and bring the hands to the back of your head. All right, so now imagine that you were leaning on a wall. Your whole back body is on a wall, including your hands, the back of your head, your shoulder blades, and even imagine that your elbows too were on that wall. And now we're going to side bend, trying to keep that back body on sliding on that wall. So when you're ready, take a breath in. And then on your exhale, slide towards your right elbow down, left elbow up. Stay on that imaginary wall. And then bring yourself back through center. And then staying on that imaginary wall, go towards your left. And then back through center. One more of each to the right. Notice the contraction through the right side, the stretch through the left. And then back through center, the squeeze through the left side body, the stretch through the right side. And then return through center, and you can extend your arms, release those fingers, and on your exhale, return your hands to your thighs and heel to toe your feet in. Bring the right knee into your chest, give it a squeeze, find that length through your spine, and then once again, cross the right thigh all the way over the left. Walk your feet apart. Take a moment here. So the bottom foot you might come onto the pinky side edge of it. Okay. And then this right foot lifts a bit up also. And then return your feet in. Squeeze them towards one another. Open your arms out into a T. Take a breath. On your exhale, right arm under left. You can do the hug as we did before, or you could keep your elbows hooked as you lift your forearms. And think top of the hand towards top of the hand. If that's happening, then maybe you slide palm against palm. And then we'll do the same that we did before. So we're going to lift and lower elbows and try to do it without moving your spine. So again, if it helps to imagine that you were leaning on a wall, your back body stays on that wall the whole time as you lift your elbows any amount and as you lower them. And try that again. Lift and lower. And then do one, adding the flexion and extension through your spine, or the extension first, that kind of cow spine lifting up, and then that cat spine flexion rounding. With your next inhale, come back through center, unwind your arms, you might reach them tall. As you exhale, release your arms down and unwind your legs, both feet plant. Just give your shoulders a roll up by your ears and down. And another one, up and down. Let's try all of that on the other side. So left knee comes into the chest, give it a squeeze. And then when you're oh no, I think it was, yeah. I think so. I think this is the right side. Cross the thigh, is it? Yeah. Cross the thigh, left thigh over right. And then we'll find that okay. We'll find that, sorry, that opening of the feet. So sending the feet away from one another. And see if you can find that kind of external rotation happening through your thighs. And then once you've had enough of that, walk your feet in once again. And then we'll take it to those arms. So as you find your eagle legs, open your arms out and do a T, take a breath. And then when you're ready, your left arm under your right as you find that hug. Or if you can keep your elbows stacked, because that's what's going to give you the stretch through upper back. You could lift your forearms, top of the hand to top of the hand, maybe palm to palm. And then from here, once again, just like we did earlier, imagine that wall, you staying on the wall with your back body, including the back of your head as best you can. And then slide those elbows up and down. And see how that feels, upper back, around your shoulder blades. And maybe you feel it also kind of the base of your neck. And then we'll find that cow and cat now with the spine. So free up the spine as you lift your elbows, let yourself arch. Maybe look up. And then as you lower your elbows, let yourself round, chin to chest, looking down. With your next inhale, come back through center. Unwind your arms, you might reach them tall. And on your exhale, release your arms down and unwind your legs, planting your feet once again. Allow your hands to rest on your thighs and give yourself a few shoulder rolls, maybe a neck stretch. Dropping ear towards shoulder, one side and the other. And then when you're ready, we'll make our way up to stand. So no rush. You could use a block between your knees. You could use your hands to prop yourself up. You could use no hands. 3 times if you'd like. And we'll take the inhale to rise up. And we'll use the exhale to return. Let's do 2 more. Breathing in to lift. And breathing out to lower. And a bit more challenge, maybe low or slow speed. Coming up, slow motion. And coming down. And then the next time that you come up, we're staying lifted. You could stay with your knees bent, bring your hands to your chest. Take a moment here. Breath in. And out. And then straighten through your legs, reaching your arms up if that feels good. On your exhale, let's take a side bend to the right. Inhale, come back through center. And then side bend to your left. And inhale through center, interlace your fingers overhead, palms towards the ceiling, give yourself a stretch. And depending how adventurous you're feeling here, as you push the palms away, maybe your heels get a little lighter and they float off the ground for a moment. Take a breath in. And then on your exhale, release arms down and heels down if they were lifted. Nice job. All right, so let's use the seat of the chair today. We'll face it. And we'll actually do a little down dog plank here. We won't hold it for 90 minutes, but you're welcome to do it if you'd like. We'll kind of flow between the down dog and plank using the seat of the chair. All right. Okay, so I'll meet you in a mountain pose. And take a moment just to plant your feet and shift your weight forward and back on the soles of the feet. And we were talking about this, I think, last week, about those 3 points under the foot. So come back to that once you've found some stillness, and think about the base of the big toe, so the ball of the foot under the big toe, the ball of the foot under the pinky toe, and then the back of your heel, or kind of the center back of your heel. And then see if you can evenly push down those 3 points on the left foot and on the right foot. And you might benefit here from a little, if you tend to kind of push your knees back, you might benefit from kind of bringing your knees forward a little bit. So a tiny bit of bend, what we say sometimes a micro bend in the knees can be helpful here to really engage through the legs and find that grounding through those 3 points. And then once you've got that, sweep your arms wide, take them up. And then on your exhale, folding towards your chair. Plant your hands, find a halfway lift, straighten through your elbows, lengthen your spine forward, tailbone back. On your exhale, fold, dropping the head, a bit more flexion through your hips. And then again, inhale, halfway lift, spine forward. Exhale, fold, drop ahead. Another one, inhale, half lift. Find a bit more action through your arms, pushing the chair away. And exhale to fold. And then on your inhale, find again that halfway lift. And then from here, we're stepping back into a down dog. So you could do your hands planted on the seat, or you could wrap your hands around the edge of the chair if that's available. And then walk your feet back. Extending through your arms, your shoulders, and then think about your knees, well, mainly your ankles and your hips more or less being in line, and then your knees could be bent here. So see how the backs of the legs are feeling today. If they can do a little bit more stretch, then your knees might be a bit straighter. If the backs of the legs are a little tighter, then the knees might be a bit more bent. And then from here, we're going to bring it into a plank pose. So lift the heels of the feet and then begin to bring your hips and shoulders forward towards your chair. You're on the balls of your feet, shoulders come over wrists. And then slowly lift your hips and begin to take those hips back, those shoulders back, as your heels now drop towards the floor. Again, slowly, inhale, come onto the balls of the feet, shift your weight forward. It's your plank. Nice job. And then again, slowly lift your hips up and back and bring the heels down towards the floor. Let's do one more just like that, breathing in as you come forward. Nice job. And breathing out as you take yourself back. And then from this down dog, walk your feet towards the chair. Find your halfway lift. Exhale, fold, drop the head. On your inhale, rising up. So you could do arms and head heavy and slowly unroll your spine. Or you could find a bit more of a neutral spine as you lift, with your knees bent, almost like coming through that chair position. And then once you're upright, straightening the knees, shoulders over hips, hips over feet, or hips over ankles, arms by your side. Okay, let's try that again. Inhale, reach your arms tall. Exhale, fold towards the seat of the chair. Inhale, halfway lift. So you're pushing the chair away, you're straightening your arms, you're reaching the crown of the head forward, your tailbone back. Make it really active. And then exhale, fold, drop the head. A bit more passive, a bit more relaxed. And again, activate. Push the chair away, halfway lift. And then a bit more passive, relaxed, fold. One more like that. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, fold. With your next inhale, find that halfway lift. And then again, maybe your hands around the seat of the chair, and we're stepping the feet back to find that downward facing dog. Nice job. From your down dog, lifting the heels first, come onto the balls of the feet, and then begin to shift forward. See if you can do it slowly. You're finding your plank, and then you're making your way back to your down dog again slowly. And let's do another one. Inhale, coming onto balls of the feet, shifting forward. Exhale, lifting up and back, heels down. And then one more, slow motion. It's not about arriving into plank or into down dog, it's about the in-between. There you go, nice. And then when you're ready, walk your feet towards your chair. Find again that halfway lift and fold. Nice job. On your inhale, make your way up to stand. And as you exhale, find your mountain, arms by your side. Give your fingers a wiggle. Give your shoulders a roll. Okay, nice job. All right, so from here, let's use the back of the chair now. So you could turn your chair around. We're going to be a little bit more upright. So we'll find some lunges. Your fingers can rest on the back of the chair. You might also not need the chair for this one. So you see what works best. When you're ready, on your inhale, we're going to take the left foot all the way back behind us. And we're going to plant the heel. So we're going to actually do a warrior one. So make it kind of shortish. And then see if you can pivot a bit on the ball of the back foot, turning your toes slightly to the left as you plant your left heel. Okay. There you go. Yes. Yeah. And then you're still facing your chair. And then once you've got your back foot planted and you've got the right angle that works for you, you might work with walking your front foot forward a bit. So there might be some space there for you to go. Okay, so feel free to do that, but keep your back foot anchored. Nice, yeah. And see if you can get to a place where this feels stable. Okay? And you're welcome to keep your hands on the chair, but you might feel that it's stable enough for the hands to leave the chair. So just see where you're at. And if the hands are leaving the chair, then we'll do a little bit of work with the arms. So feel free to keep them on the chair though, so you choose here. But if they are free, bring the hands to your chest, palm to palm. And then press finger pads into finger pads, so from the left hand into the right. And then the finger, base of your fingers, the beginning of your palm also into one another. Okay, so there's some strength there. And try to align your wrists and your elbows. And then we're going to turn the fingers to point away from us. And we're going to extend the arms out in front. And then we're going to bring the hands back towards us. Turn the fingers to point up towards the ceiling. And then extend any amount those arms overhead. Keep pressing hand into hand. Bring the hands back to the chest. We'll do it one more time. Fingers away, extend forward. And then hands back towards us. Fingers towards the ceiling and extend up. Nice. Still strong through your legs. Bring the hands back towards the chest. You could return your hands to the back of the chair. We're going to come onto the ball of the back foot. And we're going to step that back foot forward, come back into mountain pose. Give yourself a moment, a little wiggle. And then let's try and find our warrior one pose on the other side. So same idea, but this time it's the right leg that's going to step back. And you're coming kind of like in a lunge, But then you're going to pivot a bit on the ball of the foot so that the heel comes in and the toes turn out. Not very much, just a bit. And then once you've really got that back foot well planted, you might slide that front foot forward a bit more. You might make your stance a bit longer. Sometimes that feels more stable too. Keep strong and anchored through that back leg. Hands can stay on the chair. Keep it there. Keep that torso lifted. Or, again, same thing. We're going to bring hands to heart. Press palm into palm, finger pads into finger pads. Find that strength. Maybe this time your hands, elbows aligned with shoulders. Fingers out. Extend forward. Keep pushing the hands into hands. Bring them back in. Fingers up. Extend up any amount. One more time. In and out. Bring it back in and up. And then bring hands back towards you, to the chair. Come onto the ball of the back foot and then step that back foot forward. And you're back in your mountain pose. Let your arms relax by your side. Give your shoulders a roll. Your fingers a little wiggle. All right, we're taking it down to the mat, to chair, recliner, sofa. We'll meet in a seat first. Loosen up those hips, and then we're going to come onto our backs. So as you find your seat, knees bent, come onto the heels of the feet, your toes pointing up. And we've done this so many times before. Just let your knees kind of flop from side to side. It doesn't have to be anything dramatic. Just see what feels good. And we're just trying to loosen up after those warrior poses. Loosen up a bit through the legs, through the hips. If you'd like to take it a little further, let your knees drop all the way to one side. Maybe swim your arm back. So if your knees are going to the left, your right arm might swim towards the space behind you, and then return through center, knees go to the right, and maybe that left arm swims behind you. You could do one more of each. And then return yourself through center, heel to toe your feet in, and bring the soles of the feet together. Knees go wide, and then just flop your knees up and down a few times. There you go. And then on your inhale, lift your knees back up, plant your feet. We're coming onto our backs. You might come onto your side, roll over, or you might come down, straight down from this position, reaching your arms forward, slowly lowering that lower back, and then that mid back. Finding a little resistance against gravity, those shoulder blades, and the head. And then once your back body is all the way supported, you could bring the right knee into your chest and give it a squeeze. Find some movement through your ankle and your toes. And then cross your right ankle over your left thigh as you find a figure four. Your right knee is moving away from you. You could stay with your left foot completely planted, or you could lift the left heel. You could also lift the left foot off the ground, maybe onto a block, or you could bring it up in the air. Just options. Play around. And take a couple breaths, allow the exhales to be more relaxing than effortful or engaging. So a bit more letting go. And then release this figure 4. Bring the left knee now into your chest. Your right foot is planted. Give it a squeeze. Find some movement through your ankle, your toes. And then as you're ready, cross that left ankle over your right thigh and look for that figure 4 on this side. And you're sending your left knee away from you. And again, you could play with the position of your right foot, maybe lifting the heel, maybe lifting the foot, maybe onto a block. You could also, sometimes it's nice if you had a wall nearby, you could kind of plant that right foot on a wall and then add a little resistance, pushing the wall away. But also the wall kind of supports your right leg too. A couple breaths. And then we'll return that right foot to the ground if it was lifted. Undo your figure 4. Bring the feet a bit wider, knees are still bent. And then take those knees over to the left side. Look for some space in the front of your right hip. Maybe you feel a stretch through the right quad, the front of the thigh. And then bring your knees back through center. And when you're ready, take them over to the other side. And now stretch some space in the front of the left hip, left quad. And some releasing exhales. And when you're ready, bring those knees back in. Take a moment, you could rest your hands on your belly, your lower ribs, and just feel your breath. And then we'll find our way into Shavasana. Maybe you're staying in this position. Maybe you move to a different one. Maybe you grab some extra clothes or some props. Make sure you're warm enough. We've got about 5 minutes in Shavasana. Allow now the breath to be whatever it is. Actually allow yourself to be whatever you are at this point. Give yourself that moment to just be. Letting go of the doing for a few minutes. And as always, Shavasana, as best you can about being present. But it's okay if the mind goes other places or if you kind of check out. Just maybe notice and bring that awareness back to the here and the now, in this stillness, calm, not doing place. Shavasana. If there is more time for Shavasana, if you'd like to stay, feel free to do that. If not, if you're ready to move on, then do it gently, do it intentionally. Return your awareness to your breath and allow the breath to inform movement back into the body. Notice the sensations that arise from moving, from breathing a bit more intentionally. And then eventually make your way into a seat, and we'll meet there to end practice. You might choose to bring your hands to your lap or bring them to your chest. Your eyes might stay closed. You might give yourself another breath in and a breath out. And we take this moment to acknowledge and appreciate the practice itself. And then to acknowledge and appreciate ourselves and our own practice. To acknowledge and appreciate all those who have practiced with us at any time. And to acknowledge and appreciate all those who have made it possible. And we end with a word that means that the light in me recognizes and honors the light in you. Namaste.